I know you're still recovering from shooting, but just really quickly, Veronica, how's that, the thing that you thought of with your head and typed on a computer is now a big thing that 7,000 people are watching. Are you grasping the magnitude of this at Comic-Con? How's it been for you?
No, I'm not grasping. My brain is not grasping very much right now. No, I mean, it's been really incredible, especially, you know, finishing up the third book in the series while all of this is happening. Oh, so I just got to go ahead before I got up here that I can share something with you about the third book that I've never shared with anyone, so I'm just going to take this opportunity.
Do it!
Okay. So I can't tell you like anything about the plot of this book, but the third book is written from two perspectives. It's written from Triss's and from Flora's. So there'll be yeah, just so you know.
Sweet. Now you gotta do it because you just sold a bunch of people.
Well, it's done now.
Oh, good. Well, good job. Good on you. I'm gonna talk to Shailene and Theo. So, Shailene, obviously people know you from Descendants, which is a much different movie. But how did you take Triss and make her relatable? Like, what did you see in her?
I saw a lot of things. I think that Triss is a very normal girl. You know, there's a lot of, I get asked a lot, how does it feel to play an action star or superhero? And I remember having multiple conversations with Neil before beginning this film, but I never saw her as a superhero, and I never saw her as an action star. I saw her as a very normal young woman who had to figure herself out as well as help the community around her. She's a very, gosh, you guys are so many of you.
You can't see most of them, it's just like a faceless void.
You can see our face. She's a very normal young woman who's put in very elevated situations and is sort of forced to find herself through those experiences, and I thought that that was really neat and a really rare opportunity.
Did it sort of change your concept or help define a concept of what you think bravery means?
Yeah, I mean, I think all of us are extremely brave and extremely courageous, but I don't think that we're necessarily put in situations where we're forced to call upon our bravery. And what I really loved about Triss is that she was in a situation and she rose to the occasion and found the bravery within herself and the courage within herself to help those around her as well as help herself.
Yeah. So Theo, Theo, I'm very comfortable saying that you're a dreamy fellow.
Well, that's actually quite funny because the way we're watching that clip, from here it's all distorted, so our faces are about 5 times the size. I was like, Jesus, Flora's really put on some weight.
Honestly, just listening to your accent, like half the audience just got pregnant. I hope how that works. But it's a, you know, it's sort of joke, but this character is not, you wouldn't say he's just a heartthrob guy, like what do you think makes him complex?
That's what I loved about him from the moment I read the books and then read the scripts, is he is this, he's quite old school, and I think he's a man with this very centered sense of masculinity, and he's not afraid to demonstrate what he's afraid of, and I think ironically that makes him more masculine and tougher in a funny way. One of my favorite things in the book and in the film is when they're on the Ferris wheel and, you know, he's afraid of heights, and Triss says, "What, are you scared of heights?" And he doesn't shy away from it. He says, "Yeah, of course I am. You know, you can't be afraid of nothing. Everyone's afraid of something." And that's the concept that I loved about the book. You know, one of the many is bravery. It's not being fearless. It's about how you deal with things that are scary and fear in itself. You know, and how you deal with things in the face of fear, and I think that's so pertinent to everyone every day. You know, whether you're a moderator, you know, you have nerves, or whether you're a doctor, or whether you're a lawyer, you know, everyone gets scared, and it's how you deal with it and how you face it in the strongest, bravest way. That's what defines you and makes you brave and strong as a person.
Yeah, well, I want to, because we're doing 2 films and we don't have a ton of time, I want to make sure and get the rest of the cast out and then make sure and we have time for fan questions. So I want to bring out the supporting cast of Divergent. This gentleman plays Triss's brother Caleb. Meet Ansel Eggart. These are some of Triss's fellow Dauntless initiates. Her best friend Christina Zoe Kravitz. Will Ben Lloyd Hughes. Edward Ben Lamb. Al Christian Madsen. Molly Amy Newbold. And there's Peter Miles Teller. And then a couple of the Dauntless Authority figures. The guy who plays Max is Mekhi Viper. He's here. And there's Tori, the mysterious woman with all the secrets, Maggie Q. Maggie, okay, you guys are right here. How are you guys doing? How are you guys doing? How are all you guys? Have you guys ever been up on a panel at Comic-Con before? All of you?
No.
This is the first time?
First time. First time.
Sweet. How is it so far? Are you excited?
It's exciting, so we got all the
It's like a giant Christmas tree.
so many like lights going on.
Yeah, in a second everyone's going to start like doing the weird. I want to ask, I want to talk to Mekhi and Maggie first. So you're working with this young cast. You guys have done.
What am I, old?
Yes, we're old. Compared to them, we're ancient. We remember the 80s unironically. It wasn't just a shiny, colorful thing to make fun of. We lived it. We were proto-nerds. What was the experience like for you guys, working with a young cast and sort of being these authority figures? Let's start with you, Maggie.
It was, I've never been in a film with so many young people. I've never had that experience. I was always sort of the youngest person in sort of an older, maybe R-rated action sort of film. And
thank you for that.
Yeah. And so, first of all, when the cast started coming together, it started getting really excited. But I didn't understand how much I was going to enjoy being around this cast when I first got casted. And it wasn't until I actually showed up and saw the chemistry that they all created before I even got there, and how they made it a family, and it was beautiful. And it's funny because young talent is different talent. I mean, you learn from everyone, and all the range of talents we have on this panel is just it's exciting. It's cool to see everybody. They're going to be everyone huge.
What about you, Mekhi? What was your experience?
It was a lot of fun. I mean, from just being on the set and seeing the youthful exuberance and the banter to singing in the band. Shaylene and Zoe. It was a great experience, great energy. I think everybody really, even though you may say that they're a little bit more youthful, but very professional, and came to work. And I mean, you see it on the screen. Yeah, the hard work and dedication. So glad to be a part of you guys.
Ansel plays Caleb. Ansel, what was the filming like for you? What did you, coming into this group, it's a pretty big group. How was it?
Well, for me, I didn't really get to work with everyone here.
Is that why they sat you all the way over here from everybody else?
Yeah. No, I got to work a lot with Shay, and with Tony Goldwyn, and a little with Kate, and a little with Ashley. And,
That would be Kate Winslet.
Wait, what was the question?
It's weird, right? It's kind of daunting when you look out and you see other people, but you don't have to be afraid of it.
How was it? It was amazing. It was definitely the best experience of my life. Being able to be part of a crew like this, having Neil as a director, getting to know these people and making these friends. It's really a great family to have been a part of, and I look forward to doing the sequels.
You just put yourself in all the sequels, and you said it at Comic-Con, so it has to happen, right? Those are the rules. I'd like to announce Ansel will be playing all the characters in the next several movies, and it sticks because it's Comic-Con.
That sounds okay to me.
For the Dauntless Initiative, you guys as a group, you pretty much, did you have any time to form a bond before you started shooting, or was it just like, day one, go?
We had 2 weeks of combat training.
Boot camp.
Yeah.
That was awkward.
And we did lots of working out together, sit-ups and press-ups and fighting and choreographing fights and knife throwing and gunfighting, so that was a pretty good bonding experience.
Yeah. Are you guys, did you also just finish? Did you guys just wrap as well? Or?
Yeah, we wrapped the other day, some of us.
Yeah.
Thursday.
So what do you think that the story means just in terms of standing behind personal values, rebelling against authority? What do you think the ultimate message is for people?
I think for me, what I got struck by the story so much when I first read the script was young people choosing their future. And I think that's what still sticks by me, with me, when I think about the story. It's young people having the opportunity to decide their fate. And it's a decision that we all make at some point in our lives, whether small or big, but we choose where we're going to go, what we're going to do, and what kind of person we want to be. And I think that Veronica really gets that moment in time so well in her story, and it's a kind of a momentous occasion in this world and in our world too.
So is there a particular scene that sticks out for you that you can say without spoiling anything?
The dining hall scene is the one I keep on going back to. We got to crowd surf for about 45 minutes, which was amazing. They lift all the dauntless and the sheets up. And we just, in a sea of people and a sea of dauntless, just crowd surfing for like 45 minutes. It was so amazing.
It was amazing, yeah.
Is that your favorite scene, Shay? Can you talk about that?
It was one of my favorite scenes. There was such a high energy in that room that night. We did it towards the end of the day, so everybody was tired, but the second you crowd surf. Yeah, the second you crowd surf, all of that disappears. And how often do you get to crowd surf for 45 minutes straight in a controlled environment?
We can do it here.
You could actually. You could make it all the way back. They could just put you onto the trolley and then you go. Theo, have you even had a moment to process the film yet? Do you need to get some distance from it before you?
Yeah, I think so. I think that definitely feels like we finished 2 days ago, so to process it, I went to Vegas for a couple of days. I read books, went to museums, stuff like that.
Yeah, all the things. And then you do.
But no, in all seriousness, as Neil said, it is really great to see something like that because it kind of gratifies what you've been doing for those months, and we really worked our asses off to make something that I think you'll all be really proud of, and it's a really special movie, and it has a very iconic look to it, and I'm just looking forward to everyone seeing it, really.
Veronica, is this what you, when you see the footage and you were seeing filming, you see this, was this essentially everything that you pictured when you were writing?
The experience is really wonderful. I mean, when I write, I don't have the most detailed mind, which is something I'm working on, but so I kind of am like squinting and looking at things in a very blurry way. So seeing them actually like realized in an incredibly detailed way was really wonderful. I mean, I remember just freaking out over like the syringes that they're sticking people in the neck with, and like the chairs they're sitting in, and just all the set pieces were so lovingly crafted by our wonderful crew. And I don't know, it was incredible. So to me, it's very true to the book, and also a surprise, which is kind of a rare combination.
Yeah. I want to make sure we have time for fan questions. If you have a question, I assume you're probably already lined up. So let's start. Who's first? Who will step forth first?
Is there a lot? Yeah, there's a
Really? Someone's not in Dauntless. Can't go to a microphone and ask a question.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, there you go. Yes! What is your name and what is your question?
My name is Tamara, and this question's for Veronica. What did you see in the movie as it was being made that you didn't see when you wrote the book?
Oh, that's a tough question.
Besides talking living people.
What
What did you see? Like, what in the filming, was there stuff that stuff that was brought out that you initially were like, oh my god, I didn't realize that was in the book, but I guess it's in the book.
Oh man, I don't know. I know this book so well. I've read it so many times that I sometimes want to kill it. But I don't know. I think it was kind of what I was talking about earlier. It's like some of those details that I just have lost because it's been a couple of years since I wrote it. That have, I don't know, they were really awesome. I remember being really surprised by the water tank. Those of you who have read it know that yeah, Triss faces this fear where she's drowning in a water tank. And I kind of forgot about that part, and then I saw the actual water tank being filled with actual water, and Shailene actually, like, swimming in it. I was like, oh my god.
Excellent. Thanks. Next question. Hi.
Hi,
What's your name?
Mandy.
What's your question, Mandy?
If you guys did any physical preparation, what kind of physical preparation did you do? Like Krav Maga, Muay Thai, kickboxing?
I want to see how many forms of martial arts combat you can list. Karate, Kung Fu.
We did about 2 to 3 weeks of Muay Thai training with JJ Perry, who was our stunt coordinator. And it was grueling, like Ben was talking about. I mean, it was a great bonding experience as well. I mean, I think that first day we all got in the van, it was a little like, hey, you know, it was like just getting to know each other. And then after about 2 weeks of like working out with each other and boxing and, you know, learning this new style of fighting together, I mean, it's just, after, you know, the last couple weeks, it's just like you start patting each other on the back and get to know each other. It's like, so.
Someone takes their shirt off, gets a bit steamy.
Keep going. Yes. Next question. Thanks, Mandy.
Hi. Love Ender's Game. Loved it forever. In terms of the book, many different.
Did you just say the other movie? Well, it's fair. He can like that book. Not right now, but he can like it. That's more. Oh my God. That guy's whole night. For weeks, he's gonna be up at night like, one chance. I had one chance.
So for the actors, is there anything...
Hang on, sorry, we're still laughing about the Ender's Game question. Alright, just give us a second. Okay, I think we processed it. Alright, we're good. What is your question about Divergent?
I was wondering for the actors, is there anything new that you came to in this role that you hadn't experienced from any other roles you've ever played?
An American accent.
How was it?
I'm still learning.
What is, how do you, because a lot of Americans think that you're British, are like, oh, hello, and you're like, that sucks, that's not British. How do you, what's your way into the American accent? What do you think of?
Well, I'm doing it right now, and I think we can all agree.
Oh, it's great. It's Mississippi, right? Mississippi, Southern Regional, yeah.
No, we had a great dialect coach called Tanner, a big shout out to her, who worked with all of us Brits and Giles, and she was really, she's kind of the top of her game, and she was great, and I don't think I could have done it without her, for sure.
Anyone else?
We begin by reading poems in the morning with American accents, and then with each poem, the accent kind of starts leaking in.
In our gross, a road diverged in the wood.
Jay does a great, she was always ripping the piss out my accent with her.
She does a great.
She sounds like she sounds slightly like Dick Van
Nanny
Dyke.
McPhee.
Theo, doctor. Yeah, do you feel like your question was sufficiently answered?
Not really.
We have to please.
Hello.
Hey.
I'm Megan. I promise this is for Divergent.
That guy's gonna come back during the next panel and be like, so for Divergent, no!
So my question was, for those of you who read the book, what scene from the book were you most looking forward to for filming, and were you able to film it?
Well, that's a good question.
I was excited to see Zoe's scene where she's hung over the chasm. That's pretty exciting. She did such an amazing job doing it. I was super excited to see that come to fruition.
Neil, was there anything you read in the book that you're like, how are we going to shoot that? Like, was there anything that seemed that you weren't going to be able to?
The daunting stuff was the train getting on, they run and jump on these moving trains, and then while the train's moving, they jump off onto a 7-story building, and so I'm just thinking, how the hell are we going to do that?
That was really hard, and Neil was like, Ansel, it looks too hard. Try to, make it look a little easier. And I was like, but it's really hard.
I mean, there's ways to do, there's green screen ways to do that. You can do that on stage, but what I love about the book is that everything in it feels very real. The human stuff is so real, and I wanted to do all the visual stuff, and the stunts real too. So they actually climbed up, as you saw in the trailer. They literally climbed up on the L tracks in Chicago. We built our own train. We built our own tracks. They're really running down the the side of the train tracks getting on. So we just did it, and these guys really did it for real.
Most of them survived. Most of them survived.
That's right.
Next question.
Hi, well, Veronica Ross, I've been a big fan of yours, and I was wondering if you think that poor Triss's relationship has been accurately portrayed in the movie as it's been in the books, as it's progressed.
You're adorable.
I kind of intentionally kept myself away from set on days when they were doing anything smoochy, because I feel like that's just awkward, like voyeuristic somehow.
What? No, you're supposed to watch on the side and go, yes, yes, touch mouths.
But what happened because of that was that, like, over time, at first I saw them being sort of like very sharp with each other because that's how the book kind of starts out. That's how the the dynamic of the movie starts out. And as I went, I kept seeing like the slow development, even though I was going very sporadically. So I think they've done an incredibly good job, and I'm so excited for you guys to see it. Yeah.
Awesome. All right, I've just given the high sign that we're going to wrap up in a sec, but you're already sitting at the mic, so you can ask your last question.
Oh, well, thank you. What similarities do you have with your characters?
For everyone.
Okay, it's a long one. That's all right. I'm very similar to a moderator. I'll start. Maggie?
Besides the obvious, tattoos, piercings, and all that stuff, I think for me that the Dauntless casting, is pretty bang on in terms of, that's sort of a big part of my personality. I like the strength, and I like to feel brave, and I don't know that I am that, but I like to feel that, and so, that was fun for me.
Excellent.
Maggie's very badass, basically.
She's a badass.
Well, being the leader of the Dauntless is bravery, obviously, and I grew up in Harlem, New York, so I had to be very brave. So that's why I'm here in front of you fine folks today. Bravery. That was good, people.
Caleb in the movie is really tall, and so hard in real life. Really, they're actually the same height.
The same exact height? That's weird. It should be in every movie, in all the parts. What about you, Theo?
Me, yes. I would say I'm extremely protective of Shay by nature. So I don't even go to the bathroom, to be honest. For me, it's only outside the door. It can be problematic, but I just think I should be there, she needs protecting. And that kind of, that's how it goes. Apology, Shay.
Theo is a seriously good fighter, for real.
He is an incredible.
Dangerously good fighter.
I think that I'm similar to Triss in, oh gosh. I really sort of similar to what Maggie was saying. I really admire Dauntless because of the bravery that's involved in their faction, and I'd like to think that I'm brave. And so,
You are.
I relate to Triss in that way. What?
Yeah. He was like climbing up the actual Ferris wheel, like,
oh, let's go higher!
Seriously, and ironically, she was like, yes, I may be afraid of heights, as she was at the very top, like dangling off the side. Okay, yeah, I'm tough.
What about you, Zoe?
Yeah, Christina, she comes from candor, so she, they're all about honesty, so she kind of says whatever she wants, whenever she wants, kind of a foot in the mouth situation. I have a bit of an issue with word vomit, just kind of like saying whatever I think immediately. So in that way, I'm kind of like Christina. Never stop talking.
Will is, he's quite good at standing up for his friends, and so I think that's something that I strive to do as well. So that's something I share with him.
Well, apart from the fact that Edward and I look surprisingly alike, I think I've always enjoyed learning, and obviously Edward is an erudite transfer to Dauntless, and I think he takes that hard-working aspect into his learning of fighting, and I've always been a hard worker. So.
I think to explain why I'm like Al, this would have to turn into one giant therapy session. I think, you know, when you're an actor, you get these audition things and they send you a little description of the character, and sometimes it's hot surfer guy, and you're like, who cares? But when I got Al, it was like quiet, gentle, you know, big, and like, you know, I sort of like shy and things like that. And I don't know, I really related with him, and so, you know, I'm not going to say I didn't do a lot of character work for it, but, you know, it's just when you relate so much to the character, it makes it easier, so that's what I want to do. Next.
I like to think there aren't a lot of ways that I'm like Molly, but she is very tall, and so am I. Handsome. She loves to fight, and I found strangely through this process that I do too.
You're a really good fighter, may I add.
Badass again.
Yeah.
So Peter is not very likable. But I defend Peter. We can talk about it later if you want to. I'll be hanging around the convention center. But Peter actually, both he and I like classical music. And we both brush our teeth in the shower. He's a good guy, he's misunderstood.
Oh my God. Before we let you guys go, I want to show the footage one more time. This is the only time it's going to be seen for a while. So one more time, let's roll this footage from Divergent, and then we'll thank everyone and transition to the next panel.